Okay, so I got the radiator drained and only made a little bit of a mess, but it's drained, mostly I think. So we're gonna go ahead and take the radiator off so we can get to this front bracket right here, or the front support, and then take that off, and that gives us some clear range to pull the motor out.
You're my gang, gang. I'd do anything for you. That's my best friend.
But for right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and pull the radiator and see where we're at from there. Normally this has 6 bolts, but apparently the last person that worked on the radiator, not me, because I know last time I did it, I put all 6 back in. Now there's only 4. So that's interesting. It's actually loose. Set it down here so I can get a grip on it when I pull it out. Come on. Sliding out. That should just slide right out, but that's not what is happening here. There we go. Okay. Radiator is now out. I can still hear a little bit of fluid in here, so I'm gonna. So you can see I got a little flex blade fan on there. You can see I got a little flex blade fan on there. So we'll swap that out too when the time comes. But now that we got that out of the way, we can then take this bracing off, and then I mean, yeah, then the motor's right there, and then we can really get to the work. Oh man, lots of work left. All right. Okay, so we're doing more teardown on the Nova, so we can get closer to pulling this motor out and put in the new one. What I just did right here is borrow the neighbor's sawzall, and we cut the exhaust out. I don't know if you can see. There. I couldn't get it out whole. But the sawzall cut right through it. I cut it where it was kind of welded right there at the front of the muffler in case I needed to use any of this again, which I'm hoping I don't. But I cut it in such a way that, you know, straight down right at the muffler, so if it had to be welded back in, it could be. I'm hoping I'll never have to use this again, but I was just trying to be safe just in case I didn't want to have to buy something all over again. Alright, so from there, what we got going on here is okay, so we've got you know, the antifreeze mess coming down because all this is disconnected here. We got all the electrical disconnected back there. We got the gas line disconnected up here at the carburetor. We got all the vacuum lines disconnected here. So what we got to do now is figure out how we want to disconnect the power steering and get that fluid out without making a ginormous mess. And then we'll remove that and the alternator. And then that should give us, I'm hoping, enough room and enough clearance just to get the motor and transmission out all at the same time. So that's what we are working on today. We're gonna, now that we got the exhaust out, we'll finish on pulling the alternator and try to figure out what we're gonna do with the power steering fluid and the power steering hoses. And yeah, then it looks like we'll be ready to pull the transmission and motor out. Then what I want to do when it's out is like clean up the engine bay, maybe paint the engine bay a little bit, clean it up. That way it looks okay. I was gonna take the radiator support bracket off, but I unbolted the one side over here and like it doesn't budge. So some people say it's welded in some spots, which I think it might be because it doesn't move at all. But what happened is this whole area here actually moved in and misaligned these bolt holes, like it was collapsing in on itself, and that freaked me out a lot. So I moved it back out, put the bolt back in here, and then put these ones in here. But this one, which goes to this, like, it's like the hood stopper, so like the hood rests on this, whatever. I don't know if you can see these threads, but they're not good. And I think I'm probably going to have to rethread this hole right here because of that. So I'm not exactly thrilled about that, but when you've never done this before, I guess it's one of those things that you learn. So I'm going to leave the radiator support in. I talked to the guy I got the motor from, the 250 from, and he said that they pulled the motor and trans without removing that. So I'm hoping that we can do the same thing. Of course, the hood still is going to have to come off at some point, but I need somebody else here to do that. I can't do that by myself. Well, at least I don't want to do that by myself, because if I do that, either I will damage the hood in some way, which will cost me a lot of money, or I'll end up breaking my front window, which will then cost me a lot of money. So we're definitely going to wait till we have some help to do all that. But this other miscellaneous wrenching, I'm hoping I can just get done and get it out of the way. That way, when it comes time to pull it out, we just have less to deal with. So, till the next update. Hi, I'm Randy.
I'm November.
Ramona too.
And this is Optimus Prime, and we're just ducking around. If you like the content, please consider subscribing.
And thank you for checking us out.